Introduce your team. Thank you very much. Hello everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Gordana. Today I have the pleasure to be the general evaluator of the meeting. The main role of the general evaluator is at the end of the meeting to basically give a short summary of how did the meeting go. But there's a much more important role of the whole evaluation team. I have a team of people who are standing behind the evaluation that will look into the way you talk, the way you represent yourself, your body language, and so on and so forth. So I will start presenting the team, and I would like each team member of the evaluation team to say their name, the role, and how they look into the certain activities that they're supposed to look into today. I will start with the grammarian. Today our grammarian is Ines. Ines, please.
Thank you. Madam General Evaluator. Toastmasters is about communicating clearly. And what I will do as a grammarian is to review grammar, the creative use of language, expressions, are they appropriate or are they really personal? Is this a personal message you want to give? So I would do that as a grammarian. I have also a word of the day, which is to pervade.
Ines, you might want to put it up on the whiteboard.
Yeah. Or maybe yes.
So to pervade is, here I have something. Okay, to pervade is to spread throughout, being present in almost everything. So it's really very pungent, you could say. There are synonyms, and could be to permeate, to penetrate, and there are a couple of more. I'm going to spare you those. And with that, back to you, Madam General.
Thank you. So the more you use the word of the day, the better for you. The next person that I would like to introduce is the timekeeper. That's Arush. Arush, the floor is yours.
So I will be the timekeeper for today, and for the prepared speeches, time will be between 5 and 7 minutes, and I will show the green card when it's 5 minutes, the yellow card when it's 6 minutes, and the orange card when it's 7 minutes, and there will be a grace period of 30 seconds for all. And then for the table topics, everyone has a time of between 1 and 2 minutes. With 1 minute I will show the green card, 1.5 minutes the yellow card, and the orange card at 2 minutes. And then for the evaluations as well, the same procedure goes. It will be between 2 and 3 minutes. And at the end I will share with you the details of how everyone has performed.
Thank you. As you know, the time is very important for all the meetings, so that's why we are using a timekeeper in our meetings to keep track of the time and to make sure that we, stand up to the qualities of the meeting when it comes to time. The next one is the R counter, and this one is again Ines. Can you tell us a bit about the role?
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. I have a double role today. We see very often in the media that presenters are, yes, coming up with fillers, etc. You think, is this a professional? So, we are actually not a professional group of speakers, but it is fun to make sure that we are deleting those fillers as much as possible. So, I'm going to count the A's, the ohms, the souls, etc. Good luck. To you.
Thank you. sure. But we are all here to improve. So. And the next one is the ballot counter. Miss Nicole, can you tell us about your role?
Yeah, Miss Nicole. Anyway, I have a double role today, so maybe I'm going to explain the first one, which leads to the second one.
Okay.
Today I'm the table topic master, and that consists in asking you people short questions, and you have to answer the question in not less than 1 minute and not more than 2 minutes 30. That can be a bit difficult at the beginning, but you'll see. With time, you'll get better and better. And at the end, we will choose, or you will choose, the best table topic speaker. And then I'm going to count your ballots in order to see who the best was. That's my double role.
Thank you very much. Before we continue, I want to remind you that this is a very safe environment, and we are here, all of us are here, to improve our speaking skills, presenting skills. So please do not feel try not to feel we're all stressful when it comes to somebody judging our speaking and oral skills. But we are all here for the same reason, and the reason we have all these roles is just because we want to look back into our meetings and improve for the future. With that, I will have the floor to
Dear Toastmasters, fellows, and honored guests, we would like to, before we go to our first speak and the introduction of the speaker, have a small round to introduce the guests here. Maybe you can just say who you are and if it's the first time or not.
Hello, my name is Katerina Pavlova. I'm from Ukraine. I work in a nurse department. I'm a safety officer, and I'm a newcomer in this club because of a friend of mine, Viron. So exciting, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
So we didn't get your name.
Katerina.
We had two are not new because we had this last week. We were
We still have some.
Oh, we still have that. Okay, here you go.
So you can stop once they become the member.
That
part you can
Rerun? Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Wei-Rong Li. I was here as mentioned last time, and that's my first time attending the Toastmasters, and I was really excited and amazed by the talent here and the speeches, and I wanted to continue. Thus I'm here for my second meeting. I'm working at NS, I'm an intern there, and I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the meeting today. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Mahmoud Hashim. I'm an intern in the NS department with Wnen and Katrina. And this is my second time to attend the Toastmaster session here at the VIC, and I'm super excited to improve my public speaking speech.
But it's not the first time in Toastmasters, right?
Not my first time
See?
in Toastmasters.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to attend the Toastmaster sessions back in Egypt with my country, but now second time in VIC.
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Anqi. I'm from China. I'm working in UNIDO. This is my first time to attend the meeting.
Okay, my name is Wnen. I'm from France. I work just in this building in UNDC. I didn't know much about the Toastmasters. I just joined because one of my friends is a member. So I'm very curious and I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Anderson. I'm an American and I also work at UNODC. I don't know anything about the Toastmasters either. This is my first time joining, but I'm very interested to see what the meetings are about and to participate with you all today.
Very cool. And here we go, yeah? Yes.
Hi everybody, afternoon. My name is Janelle Williams. I'm from Jamaica. I'm an intern here in the NA department. Never been a part of Toastmasters, but I think I have an idea of what the club represents. I'm looking forward to learning from everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. With this, I would like to start to introduce our first speaker of the day, which is a very, we would say in our Toastmasters, or the more other one, a very famous one. And this is Maria Teresa. She is our Vice President for Education and one of the pillars of the Toastmasters VIC. And she will today give us her first speech for about 5 to 7 minutes, and with the title, Disagree Without Being Disagreeable. With this, I would like to ask the general, evaluator to please kindly introduce this model.
Thank you so much. Maria Teresa is doing the speech under the pathway Persuasive Influence. So I just want to give you an idea about this particular pathway. If you pick Persuasive Influence, it's supposed to help you to build your skills as an innovative communicator and leader. The main theme of the pathway is to how to negotiate a positive outcome together with building strong interpersonal communication and public skills. So her speech today is the first project in the level 3 of this particular pathway, Persuasive Influence. The main goal of today's project is for her to develop or enhance her understanding of the steps and the strategies to address conflict. Purpose of the speech is for her to share some aspects of her experience learning about or resolving conflict, which is, very often what we find in the office anyway. And so I think this would be really useful, and I'm very much looking forward to her sharing. So without further ado, Maria Teresa, disagree without being disagreeable.
That's actually her job. Famous, I think rather infamous. In any event, conflict. It's what causes relationships to break apart. It's what causes families not to talk to each other. And for me, the worst case scenario, it causes war. Conflict is a terrible thing. But I'm not here to talk about conflict. There's enough of that going around in the world. I'm here to offer some advice about how to resolve conflict, which is pervasive. Wouldn't you agree, Ines? It's all over us. But I'm going to try to offer some suggestions on how we can get beyond some of these things. In my project in Pathways, I was instructed to watch a video, a scenario where there were 4 people sitting in a room. So let me set the stage. It was a group meeting with a team leader, one of the members, a second member, and a finance member. And the issue on the table was they wanted to improve the look of the corporate office. So the first gentleman came in saying, we need to change the walls. They're neutral, they're beige, they're boring. We're a dynamic company. We need to have something which reflects that personality. The second person said, look at these carpets. The first time somebody walks into our office, they're going to see those coffee stains. That certainly does not present us in the best way. So these 2 people were kind of back and forth with each other. But then not to forget the finance person who said, we don't have any money to do any of this. We have a reduced budget this year. So still the one gentleman, we need to do the walls. The other lady, we have to do the carpets. The third gentleman saying, no money. The team leader was very clever, at least to my way of thinking, because she let each person present their perspective, their point of view. You might not think about this, but sometimes with conflict, we end up seeing more perspectives. Not just our opinion, our frame of mind. We end up seeing something which is much bigger, which is not necessarily bad, particularly for a manager. The manager had everything under control. I was amazed at that. And I was also amazed in this video, these people didn't get emotional. They didn't raise their voices. Like I'm used to people raising voices when they get into a conflict situation. They were very controlled, disciplined, but assertive, maintaining their point. We need this, no, we need that. At one point, the team leader was trying to keep everybody still focused, although one person was saying, I have another meeting, I have to run off. The other person said, this is a waste of time, we're not getting anywhere. The team leader wouldn't take that answer. She said, no, we're going to stay here another 15 minutes until we come to a decision. So, with these people basically being restrained and not allowed to dash out the door, it spoke about how it might be possible to use some of the talent that they have. The team leader suddenly realized, my husband painted our house last summer. He could get him in, and he could organize a painting crew. And somebody else said, well, I had somebody help me put a carpet in my living room. So they decided, we're going to turn this into a project where we're all working on something that we can contribute, and it's not going to cost so much money. So at the end of the day, this was a situation where everybody kind of walked out happy, and it was resolved. Although that was a video, that's not necessarily the real world. As a matter of fact, I found it ironic. This morning, coming to the Toastmaster meeting, I almost got into a fight with someone. I walked into a very crowded bus, and I'll be honest, I'm having a little bit of trouble walking at the moment, so I wanted to take a seat. So I approached the only available seat on the bus, and this old, well, I'm old too, but this old and very grumpy lady said to me, I don't want any people next to me. Well, I could have gone into a situation where I was in conflict and argued, but I decided it was only a couple of stops. And I certainly wasn't going to let him make me mad before I came to this Toastmaster meeting. The other thing I realize in life, sometimes you have to realize what battles you want to fight, where you want to have your energy. And I figured something like that was rather trivial. Although, I'll be honest, I would like to sit down. Conflict. Over the period of time, at least in my own life, and I share from my personal experience, one of the tricks I try to do when I'm in a situation, in a conflict with somebody, is try to find common ground. Some area that we can somehow agree with each other on something. And also, respect the other person. Don't make comments like, oh, that's a stupid idea. I don't flash them nasty looks, and you don't like what they say. The body language is also important. I've also known people who, in a conflict situation, will start using their hands, and you think they're going to actually come and punch you at one point. Or they point. And I don't like this pointing. I think this is very rude. In my culture, that's considered very rude to point. You. Cut it out. Watch your body language. It's not just about words. And with that, I hope you don't have any fights today. And I hope I've given you a few pointers. Again, wouldn't it be nice if we could all just get along? But I fear that's not to be. So when you come into conflict situations, try to think of some of the things you can do in your own little way. Sometimes it doesn't have to be something big, in your own little way. Again, respect the other person on the side that's not necessarily yours. And show them that you respect them. The other thing I found in conflict situations, sometimes people are not listening to each other. They're so passionate about what they want to communicate that they somehow switch off. And I'll be honest, I can tell when somebody's not listening to me, like that. So try at least to pay attention to make sure that you were heard, but most importantly, that you were also listening. So with that, I wish you a good day, and hope you don't get into any fights with anybody on the way back to your offices, as we were all lost getting here. And with that, I return control of the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day, and my assistant, the Vice President of Education for Secondary, Rita. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria Teresa, for this wonderful speech, which pervaded our minds and encouraged us to or let us know how to deal with conflict situations. I would like now the two to evaluate the speech, please, and I would like to ask the timekeeper to give us 1 minute for this.
Can I make a suggestion? In lieu of recycling and everything, can I maybe ask you not just to take one slip off of this piece of paper, this form, and maybe use your agenda at the bottom to indicate the person that you thought was the best speaker? It seems a shame to use these forms for just the same.
You can use different parts of the same computer. You can just use any of these.
Oh, we can share them.
Yeah, you can share, so just scratch.
Okay.
it.
Do you need?
Check the pictures first, because there are so much. No.
1 minute is almost over.
So 1 minute is over, just a few seconds more for the evaluation. And since we do not have a second speech today, I would like to go then to our next point, which are the table topics, and ask our table topics master, Nikki, today, to please come and to inform us about this task. My role today is to ask you a few questions, and you will have 1 minute to answer, up to 2 minutes 30 to answer. Unfortunately, I noticed that all I was going to say the old-timers have roles today.
Nature players.
Sorry?
People with nature roles.
People with major roles. Okay, anyway. What I will do is, for the ones among you who are guests, I'm going to ask my questions to people who are used to answering questions. And then if any of you volunteers, then you will see how it goes. There are things in life that we do. There are things in life that we don't do. There are things in life that we wish we could do. There are things in life we wish we had done, and there are things in life which we are not allowed to do. I would like to ask you a few questions basically on this theme today. My first question will go to Ines. Okay, Ines. Ines, did you ever do something in your life that did not correspond to your personality? Did you ever do something in your life that did not correspond to your personality?
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, Madam Table Topics Master. My personality is not to get into conflicts. Maria Teresa. But sometimes there is a conflict which needs to be solved. And I would like to share something very briefly with you. I was married, first husband, and we had a major conflict. And we said, we will divorce. This is not going anywhere. So we went to a lawyer. And this lawyer looked at us. You know, we were very young. And actually, it was really a pity to get into something like a divorce. But we said, we want to divorce. And this lawyer looked at us and he said, come here, both of you. He took us outside and he said, I have something which will not cost you money, but it will cost you a lot of power. And we said, what is this? No, we want to have divorce. We don't want to discuss anything. This is a conflict unresolvable. And the next week, he said, I'm not convinced what you're telling us. He took us outside. in the city where we're living. And he, you would not believe it, he took us to a big wall. He gave us 2 hammers and he said, you both will break down the wall, no matter how long it will take you. You would not believe it. Both of us start putting the wall down with a hammer. It took us some time, but there was a joint project, joint work, and we did not get it in the force. Back to you.
So, we got in Ines' answer in 2 minutes a lot of suspense and a story to go with it, right? So, my second question, would Mahmoud, because you don't have to if you don't want to, because since you used to go to a Toastmasters club in Egypt, I thought you might want to. No, if you don't want to, I don't. You're a guest, so I'll go to Silla. Silla. Yes. Silla, is there something in your life which you wish you had done and you did not do? Is there something in your life that you wish you had done and you did not do? Okay.
So, hello Toastmasters, and thank you for the question, Nicole. When you asked me this question, the first thought that came to my mind is, I wish that I had more boyfriends. Because it is true. I mean, this is, I went to a girls' school. And this is quite common in Hong Kong. It's like your high school is like only girls. And actually the parents, they all love it, right? They think that, this is going to help you to concentrate on your studies. It will be good, something that wouldn't distract you and all that. And I must say that, yes, in a way, it really helps you to focus on your study, but then your life is also like, I feel like afterwards I can only know how to make friends with girls and women. I really struggle, sort of like, to be friends with the guys. And one of our teachers, she put it in a very nice way, which I think is still very true. She was like, you guys are crazy. There are only 2 extremes in the school, Either one of you is like, the boy, like the guy that look at you and then you thought that like they fell in love with you. So that's one extreme, right? You just don't know how to handle. And the other one is like if they're really friends with you and you think that we are brothers, like, and sisters. So, and I felt like, I struggle with sort of like, not that I don't have boyfriends, but I wish that I have more, because every time when you have a relationship, it's also an important time for you to realize, to find out what you want in a relationship. Also an opportunity for you to find out more about yourself. What do you find it or value the most in a relationship? And looking back, I felt like I would love to spend more time in learning more about this instead of just having what I had. But so there is still some time, ahead, and I would really dive into it. So if you have any good recommendation, let me know. Thank you.
I'm sure in Toastmasters you will have a lot of opportunities. Now there's one thing I have to tell you for the newcomers among you. I'm asking a question. If you don't know the answer, or if you think that you can't talk about the question I'm going to ask you, you don't have to answer it. You can, try and avoid the question and say something. The thing is to last at least 1 minute. Some of us are quite good at that, not answering questions. Is anyone who among our guests like to try?
The question first.
The question first?
So then maybe a little easier.
Okay. Then my question is, suppose that you have a little man coming out of a bottle and telling you, you have 1, not 3, not like in the story, not 3, 1 wish. 1 wish. what would be your wish? Who would like to answer that question? Yeah? Okay. So what's your name? Because
You can go for the next one.
Wait, Roland.
okay, good.
Thank you everyone, first of all, for listening to my table topic speech. This topic, I believe, is not only very close to heart for myself, but also for everyone who's sitting here. I'm going to refer back to my last speech from my last table topics, if everyone, some of you are here, and perhaps can relate to what I mentioned last time. And this is, when we were just born into this world, we have no clue on where we should place ourselves, our identity, and what we value. And so oftentimes, we scourge and find things in the world just by chance, by introductions, by opportunities that come up. And sometimes they speak to our heart, and we find that this is our passion, this is what we want to do for the rest of our lives. But on the other hand, a lot of people go through their lives and don't manage to find that one passion or that one thing that makes them energetic. And they're just going through activity and activity and activity. And so, to answer this question, I would like to say, if there was one wish that was given to me by the so-called genie, the wish granter, I would wish that he would be able to provide for every single individual an opportunity to find their true passion, their true potential in whatever endeavor they'd like to pursue. Because I believe that is what powers us through in difficulties, in successes as well. So we have a clear focus and a purpose that we bring to our life from the day we were born. Thank you very much.
What I like about your answer is that it was not a wish for yourself, it was a wish for everybody. Now, I'm going to give you that's the third question, and anybody who wants to answer it. If you had the opportunity to choose a profession where you know you would be successful, what profession would you choose? Or what activity would you choose? Anybody who wants to answer that?
No, not this one. She was raising her hand last time.
That one I knew. This one I have no idea.
It's okay, that's the whole point of table topic, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you another one then. Is there something you did in your life which you would do differently today?
Yeah. This is an easy one.
That could be a little thing, and you don't have to answer the question.
I'll try.
Yay, bravo!
To address this question is a little personal, I suppose, and it feeds into the question that was asked earlier, and it touches on courage. There are lots of things that I would say maybe I regret, and a lot of that fed off of not going with my gut. For example, like standing up right now to answer this question. I think the best way to answer this question is that I wish I had the courage to approach things that spoke to my interest, that spoke to my gut feeling, and not allow fear or society to hold me back. And so I'm trying not to dwell on the fact that it occurred in the past, but to look at it as a potential opportunity to pursue it in the future. And I know that through being a part of this organization, I have more opportunities to make amends to my past, so to speak.
You made it with no without a problem. And there's one thing I can assure you is that when you ask a question in table topics and you answer it, 10 minutes later, you say, oh, I could have done it differently. But we all have this reaction, all of us. That's life. So, shall I stop here or do I have time for another one, for the last one?
I think it's enough.
It's enough, because we're running out of time. So, just a second. So, Ines answered the first, for the balance that you have to give for the best speaker. Ines answered the question, did you ever do something that did not correspond to your personality? The second question went to Scylla. Is there something you wish you had done? The third question went to Where? If I could see it written down. If a little genie would come out of the bottle and give you one wish, which wish would it be? And Janelle, is there something you did that you would do differently today? These were the 4 questions.
Thank you, Mr. Master. Thank you very much. I would like to ask now to give us 1 minute for the evaluation of the table topics. Just one, yeah? Okay, thank you. So we are done with this. I would like to give then the word again to the general evaluator and to take over the evaluation section.
Topics master, relatives masters, and guests.
It shouldn't be running.
It is time for the evaluation section of our meeting. No stress, please. Okay, so I will start with the grammarian. Madame Grammarian, the floor is yours. If you can tell us how you did in terms of grammar, as well as, because you have double roles today, as well as you can mention the kind of the fillers. The floor is yours.
One point was, don't we have an evaluation?
Okay, we start with that?
Yeah.
All right, sorry. We're all learning, sorry. So first we start with the evaluator for the first speech. That is Cecilia, please. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Because that actually buys me some time, so I will be happy if, no worries, that was just a joke. Listening to Maria Theresa's speech, what do you find it most intriguing or that really connects you, it catches your attention? For me, there's 3 things that I really like the most about her speech. The beginning, the structure, and also the examples that she picked. If you listen to her speech, the beginnings, they are not very long sentences. And that's always, personally, I find it the most powerful. She got really short sentences, but bring it straight to the point. What does conflict relate to us? Conflict is everywhere, whether we like it or not. And these days, actually, probably more than what we like. But so that sets the stage, right? Given that, even if we don't like it, we have to face it. How do we deal with it? So then she puts the scenario of all the videos that she has watched, what you actually learn from the Toastmasters project. But I actually prefer her way of describing this than watching the video. Did you notice her hand gestures? She has really interesting hand gesture. that almost brings you back, to that scenario. It's almost like when she speaks, I can imagine how that video plays out in my mind. And I think this is a very powerful but important tools and skills, because that describes you the visuals, even though we actually didn't see the video now. But through her description, I could almost imagine how it would look. And that's also the second very strong point. It's something that we can relate to. I mean, come on, we have that all the time in our office, all the meetings. Some actually, a bit more dramatic than that. And most of them actually. But how do we resolve them? So she gave us the tips. What battles do you want to fight? Right? You first decide, is it worth me fighting? Is it worth my energy and time to resolve it? I mean, we are not going to resolve every single conflict every day. Otherwise, we don't have the energy and time to deal with that. Find the common grounds. And so what I really like about her speech, it also sets us into thinking about how we resolve conflict both in a work and the daily life settings. Remember the example that she talked about in the bus? Coming to VIC, finding this room to come to this meeting, actually is quite something, right? If I can give a suggestion, I would actually really like to have a summary and a recap of all these tips at the beginning, so that those would be the tools that we can take away when we deal with conflicts in our everyday life. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sila. Okay, we continue now with the other type of evaluation. This is for everyone who spoke today. So we start with the grammarian. Ines, the floor is yours.
Madam General Evaluator, guest, you did great. I must say, I was really impressed with the use of the English language. And I also see there are a couple of small issues, small things which could be prepared or could be changed perhaps. Maria Teresa, for example, used twice kind of. Now, very often, it's colloquial or is it not? I know what you want to say. You want to put it as an example. And I know that you also said something about the tricks I do. Is it more the tricks I have or the tricks I use sometimes? Small things. Nicole, as table topic speaker, you are great. And I really like also the table topics. Food for thought. As to two things which I also liked was the wish granter. Actually, it's nice, a nice word. Can you grant me your wish? My wish? Are you then my wish granter? Very nice to play with. And I also see that, let me see, the word of the day, let me jump very quickly, looking at the clock. The word of the day was used twice by Maria Teresa and by Ria. And coming back to Ria, very often, when we are making this transition from one person in the session to another, I give the word, you can say it, but actually we used to say, I'm handing control of the meeting to so-and-so. That's actually a very charming way to say it. The choice is yours. Nothing dramatic. You don't need dramas. As to the grammarian crown, I'd like to give it to two people, Nicole and to Runway. Weirun. And that is the genius out of the bottle and the wish thinker. And with that, I would like to give control back to the general evaluator.
Thank you. But I will actually ask you again if you want to continue to speak. Sorry. sorry, because we have two roles. Maybe we continue with the R counter.
Yes. The R counter was putting her thinking hat off, and at one point in time I was not thinking anymore, because I thought actually it's nice to hear also the pauses in between, and then you want to fill it up. I mean, it's quite okay. But in Toastmasters we have this rule: try to reduce it as much as possible. Silla, I counted 2. Okay. Gordana, until now, 4. Congratulations. And 1. Up to now, Maria Teresa, 0. Congratulations. Nicole, 0. Myself, I didn't count.
I counted actually, there were none. I was paying attention.
Okay, thank you. And what else do we have? Mrs. Williams, great table topic. But I really have to count 5 ounce. It's okay. And with that, I'm giving control back to you, Toastmaster Gordana.
I have 2 points of order. If you commit the R-Fehler, German, you have to pay 10 cents into this little piggy bank.
I coming to that.
Okay, all right. And the second thing is, I don't think we note the guests' ums and ahs. I think we sort of ease them in. I don't think we're that strict with the guests.
Yes, it's more elegant. You're right.
At least I wouldn't be. I thought she was wonderful.
Yeah. So nobody wants to pay a penny.
Oh, the other thing, excuse me, another thing is, there is a threshold. If you make 20 ahs, you only have to pay 1 euro.
1 euro.
So you might as well, if you make it, you might as well.
And this investment is an investment in our social activities, so you're getting something back for it. You know, think about it.
Christmas party! That's the point.
Longer party. Thank you very much, Madame Miriam. We continue with the timekeeper. Arosh, can you please give us a report of our time?
So everyone was well within the time. First of all, Maria Teresa was 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Then Inez for the table topics was 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Silla was 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Weirong was 1 minute and 40 seconds. And Yanel was 1 minute and 15 seconds. And then lastly, for the evaluation, Silla was 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And I think otherwise we are well within time. We started at 12:30 because all of us were lost. And
mentally as well.
Yeah, so I think that's it.
Thank you very much. And we have the ballot counter for the last, Madame Ballot Counter. You don't want to be called Madame Nicole.
Yeah, well, the country I come from, that has a negative side to it, right? Is that was, the head of a woman.
It sounds very fancy for the non-French speaker.
Then, house of prostitutes, so I can go without them, madam. Anyway, yes, I'm getting a point of order on my right-hand side that I shouldn't have taken into account the votes of the guests, but since we have a majority of guests today, I thought, why not? So, but anyway, the winner of the table topic today is... We're wrong.
Double header. Double header.
No. A good sign you need to join the club. Thank you very much. And I think with this, we are concluding with our team. I will say a little bit about the general meeting overall. As we all noticed, we started a little late. Maybe we were a little bit in a holiday mood because of tomorrow. Tomorrow is a holiday. So that's okay, that's part of reality, sometimes it happens, but we actually are ending exactly on time. So we still made it. There were usually, this kind of meetings can be a little confusing, especially for the newcomers, because of the certain roles we have and the way we have to play out. So there is a little, I think we can work a little bit on all of us that were speaking right here today on the smooth transition to the other speaker. I think we did a very good job at explaining our roles, because sometimes I notice that can be a little weak in our meetings. So for the newcomers, it could be completely strange of what are all these people doing. So I think we did a very good job on that. Considering that we had a lot of visitors, I think we also did a very good job in introducing everybody and getting your input. Hopefully we'll have your input at the end as well to tell us a bit of a feedback of how you thought the meeting went and maybe what we can improve. Overall, I really liked and enjoyed the meeting, also maybe because we were a smaller number than usual, so that that leads to meetings ending on time, even though we didn't start on time. I think it pervaded a very good positive energy through within all of us and throughout this room today. And overall, I am very satisfied with this meeting. So I will lead, how is it? Turn control. Turn control. See, we're still learning with turn control.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Well, I was so hard trying to not saying, I would like to give the floor, because this is a faux pas, giving the floor. And to give the word that with this now, I would like to thank you all very much for your coming, and I would like maybe to make a small round to ask the guests how they...
That's usually the president.
Okay, then I would like to give the control over to our president. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. And struggling to navigate the VIC, squeezing into the bus. And just want to say 3 things that I really like about today's meeting. I really like what Gordana was saying right at the beginning. This is providing a safe space for us to share. And I appreciate a lot, because some of your sharing today is very, very personal. So I don't take this for granted. It's not like we come across like that, everything. And, but I also learned a lot in terms of how we can apply what we have learned here, both in our personal and work life. And so before giving the floor for the guests for your brief comment about the meeting and how we can improve, I just also want to thank some of our executive committee, Brigitte. She's our treasurer, for also making sure that we submit our club, fee, everything is running a meeting and running the club helps me to understand nothing comes easy, right? So there are a lot of people who put in all the work to make it happen. So she has always been working in the back, making sure that all the finances matters are taken care of. And also for those members who are taking up roles at the last minute, who are taking up multiple roles today, you can see some of us is like, what are we supposed to do now? So. But we want to make sure that we have a full program. And of course, I also want to thank our new members for stepping out of your comfort zone. That's a very good timekeeper's report, by the way. And for the guests for coming and joining us today, and also stepping out of your comfort zone, sharing with us your personal stories. So just around something that you like about our meeting or how we can improve. Anyone would want to? This is not a table topic, so yes.
No, this was my first time joining a meeting like this, and I really enjoyed kind of the different experiences that were shared, the examples that people brought up that were both personal, but things that also related to their work, to the outside world, and how they were able to really bring that together into one speech. I really enjoyed listening to that, and it was great to participate today.
Well, as I told you, I was curious, so I'm happy that now I have answered some of my questions I had, like how does it work and who speaks how long. And I was also very impressed by the newcomers like me who were able to talk like this. I don't think we could. But that's also why I was thinking about joining is to try to improve talking topic. So yeah, thank you all.
Yeah, this is my first time to attend the meeting, so it's quite new for me, but I think I learned a lot and I'm impressed by all the speakers, so thank you very much.
That's the only gentleman. Yes.
Thank you. I was impressed by the fact that people are not expecting what the question that will be asked, and they come up with a good answer, like Ms. Williams, right? And Myron, for sure. Like I'm learning from her from now on. I will be learning from her. Yeah, thank you.
And I'd like to say thank you for the second meeting I'm a part of. It actually is a bit different than last time because it's a smaller group as mentioned, but I felt like there's more like a positive energy because we're so close. And it definitely feels like a VIC family more, Toastmaster family. So thank you for this different environment experience.
Yeah, for me it's actually was like spontaneous decision to join. It's like 1.5 hour ago we all proposed just to join, let's go. So and I'm so surprised because my background is more technical and for me I think it's very useful to to participate in such meetings. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I agree with all the opinions shared. Definitely do feel like it is a safe space, so I definitely appreciated that. I suppose that was part of the reason I felt encouraged to stand and speak. But yes, I appreciate the environment that you guys set and what we can learn here.
Thank you. Come back. So come back as a member. No. Yes.
I'd just like to make a point. I have been furiously writing down all your names and keeping track of who's here. I'm going to be putting you all into our tracking system. It's called EasySpeak. It's our software management system. Berlin, you're already on that. Mahmoud, you're already on that. You will automatically then get an invitation to our next meeting, which should be the second Tuesday in November. So you don't even have to think about it. I usually send the invitations on the Thursday preceding the meeting. So in case you get something coming in from EasySpeak, don't be confused. It's actually me. Or maybe Ria.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and thank you for Vice President of Education keeping track and making sure we do things properly. So that's very important too. And without that, and with Godona here, she's always making sure we finish, not on time. So we'll try, because I also understand that this is your lunchtime. You probably also want to grab some lunch. But thanks again for coming, and hope to see you for our next meeting, which is November? 8th of November. Yes, same time, same place. Okay? Thank you. See, you do a rehearsal for 5 but
would be nice.
Sort of like have somebody to make a speech on this is not
Got it. So for that, we're going
Yes, that's fine. So
so that means that it wasn't taken before, but I don't know if it's much
because you said that you paid, so I tried to go in the 9 without seeing on the account. And then when I came and then I saw the case, and then I pressed it
or three.
So I've taken courses and then.
Alright. But the first one is becoming more, and then you have access to pathways, and then you choose the pathway. There's 11 different pathways.
Alright.
So if you really want to get going, I suggest you type it in there.
Okay.
So now,
You want to leave your work?
Mostly that I just want to talk about Christian.
Send you. I'm sending you.
And what is your email? That's why it's down now. Yeah, it's just where do you type it? And you communicate with the master of the day.
Are you getting a script to feed all these people today?
These are online. Everything's
Oh, thank you.
send a reminder.
You know, this is not fair to you. It's only August November, and we were supposed to pay.
Alright, so I'll link to you for the membership. But did we reach out to pathways? Was that?
Yeah, there's something like this.
Fantastic.
Alright.
Yeah, you have to first. Exactly. Yeah. I got 2 pathways already, so yeah. That's why I was like, yeah, the second pathways, yes. Because I wasn't happy with my first one. Then I wanted to pick another one, but then the second one, my contract ends in April. But the one that you really like and yes, exactly.
I would give
I want to give things rolling and they participate in
I'm not going to get an evaluation.
I'll send you an email and then we'll be in contact. Fantastic, thank you very much. No, I would send it to, right now, but I'm for a meeting at 2, so I need to, Thank you everyone.
Okay, I have to put these things back.
Thank you so much.
Incredible. Yeah. It's good. Let me
Great. So yeah.